Media Dodger, Media Dodger. He doesn't perform a dodge, which makes his name exceptionally odd. But he treks through the great and bad. It's 50-50, he's so rad. Good times and bad are had, but that's what he gets for being. And don't forget, the Media Dodger, the Media Dodger, the Media Dodger, the Media Dodger.
You know what I'm in the mood for? A scary kids movie. It is Halloween after all. I think we should watch something scary. Think back to when you were a kid and you've probably watched movies that have pretty scary moments. Which ones would you rank among the scariest? The tunnel scene from Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory? The child catcher in Chitty Chitty Bang Bang?
Here we are, children. Come and get your lollipops.
Not to mention all those moments in many a classic Disney animated film. But then let's talk about movies that aren't really meant for children, yet children watched anyway. Like Raiders of the Lost Ark, where people's faces melt off. How about Poltergeist, where we get huge whammies? The tree, the man tearing off his own face, the pool of skeletons, the clown doll. Yeah, if you tell me you don't regret first watching the movie as a kid, you're a liar. But those scenes pale in comparison to one particular children's movie that's unsuspecting at first glance. Nothing seemed immediately wrong, but as you watch further, it hits you. I'm talking about The Brave Little Toaster. What is there to say about this movie? Well, it's certainly not bad, but it's one of the darkest children's films to ever exist. I'm talking Wonka Tunnel and Child Catcher. That kind of terrifying. Actually, scratch that. It's pretty much all scary moments in children's films thrown together into a blender, and this is the end result. Films this terrifying, especially for kids, should be illegal. And you're probably thinking, come on, a movie about a toaster, a house appliance, on a great adventure? How could something like that possibly be the least bit unsettling? Well, I'm about to do the unthinkable. I'm gonna sit through this movie to give you a peek. So, like I said, first impressions are innocent enough. You got a neat little title, some opening credits, calm music. Doesn't seem too bad. May not be entirely devoid of anything out of place, but it's enough to put you in a false sense of security. Once the titles are done, the movie can officially begin with a radio broadcast.
Good morning, good morning, good morning. That was 1,000,000,001 strings playing one of your all-time favorite tunes.
Okay, nice start there. Now, tell me if that wisecracking voice sounds familiar.
I'm thinking you think too much, pal. What we need is some wake-up music. If they think I'm homely now, they should see this.
That's right, it's Jay Sherman from The Critic. I guess he's always playing the sassy wisecracker that people just can't get enough of, as much as they wish they could.
The chimps are protesting discriminatory...
I've got a good mind to reset your alarm. Permanently.
Just some playful banter, am I right? So in the first 5 minutes, we're introduced to the 5 lead characters: a wisecracking radio, an excitable desk lamp, a childlike electric blanket, a grumpy old vacuum cleaner, and of course the toaster. By the way, the radio's not the only character with a recognizable voice.
What do you mean, what are we gonna do today? The same thing we've done for the last 2,000 days! Chores! That's Thurl Ravenscroft, who's done voice work for animated productions previously, provided the voice of Tony the Tiger for a while, and also sung that one tune for How the Grinch Stole Christmas. Anyway, for this first scene, the house appliances are in a house that hasn't been inhabited by human life for years, and every day they would clean up the place in preparation for the return of their master, and you gotta appreciate just how strong these appliances are when lifting that couch.
But then in the middle of work, the blanket hears the sound of a car and they think it might be the Master.
The Master? Is it the Master?
Did that blue car just change yellow and then all the other colors went?
It's him! He's back!
I wouldn't get my hopes up, kid.
It's the Master!
Gosh, what was this one taking?
Blanky! Master! Blanky!
Yep, that's what I thought. After all, the movie just started. Did you really think it would be that short?
Cry, weep, wail, and sob. It's disgusting. Give me that stupid picture.
No!
We sure are getting off on the right foot, are we? The picture frame ends up shattering anyway, and then we get some more consoling words coming from this AC that sounds 10 notes too similar to Jack Nicholson.
Somebody untie the knot in this guy's cord.
Why don't you just shut off?
Hey, I'm real scared there, Kirby. What are you gonna do, suck me to death?
There are two different ways you could take that line out of context. One is disturbing, the other is slightly less disturbing. The AC tells the appliances that the Master's never gonna come back, but that alone doesn't shatter their hope.
Because the Master never played with you.
'Cause you're stuck in the wall.
So, it's back to that stupid static again.
Aw, crap.
I'm not an invalid. I was designed to stick in a wall. I like being stuck in this stupid wall. It's my function!
He's gonna blow! Take cover!
Wait!
Well, he was a jerk anyway.
Holy crap, that was... Whoa. Okay. What a scene. I wouldn't blame you if you want to leave right now. But, you want to stay? Well, just let me warn you, if you stay, you're going to suffer some more trauma. They hear another car. Surely it can't be the Master this time, right? Nope, it's someone putting up a for sale sign. Well, that about did it.
Stop it!
I'm sorry. I couldn't help myself. Just the way that line was delivered. Just how abrupt that was.
Stop it!
Someone should make memes out of that. The toaster convinces the others to join him in a journey to the city, and the way the others agree has a great form of symbolism. It starts off with only the toaster and the sunlight shining on them from the window, being the only one fully motivated to take on the journey. But as the others start gaining that same commitment, they too go into the sunlight. It had finally dawned on them what needed to be done. But then there's one little problem, the most important element of the journey.
Well, how are we gonna travel?
They try loads of ideas for movement in a pretty humorous montage. It really goes to show they don't always have the right idea right away. Eventually, they settle on using a swivel chair pulled by the vacuum powered by a car battery, and now they take off on this incredible journey that awaits them with a radio signal as a navigator to take them to the city. Would it be as incredible as the journey taken by two dogs and a cat through the wilderness? Only time will tell. But for now, here's a little musical break.
Life is like a journey on a road that's within. Head says you should stay, but your heart says to begin.
Look, as much as I promised a bunch of scary stuff, believe me when I say we're not quite there yet. The AC exploding sure was a start, but that wasn't even the worst of it. But now that we got a musical number going, I gotta mention, the songs in this film are quite well done. This first one is a nice easygoing start to the journey into the great unknown.
Time fly by in the city of light. Time stands still in the country.
Ah, what a beauty this song is, and just how well the lyrics match up with the visuals.
Master is a man with a plan I can understand.
Master is a man of great reflection.
For a first musical number to be sung as a form of storytelling, we're already off to a great start. Warm, gentle, full of anticipation of the journey ahead, this is the perfect way to end the first act. Okay, so the only disturbing thing in this film so far is the AC blowing up. You're not going to keep watching, are you? I mean, I did promise more disturbing things. Well, if you still have faith in that promise, I give you my thanks for your commitment to wrecking your mind. The second act starts off oh so pleasant when they travel through a prickly field that doesn't exactly leave them feeling so happy.
Whose idea was it to come this way anyway?
Why, it was the lamps, I tell ya.
Oh, yeah? Who's supposed to be the big shot navigator around here, Mr. Loudmouth? Mr. Big Loudmouth?
I can almost imagine the many different curse words he'd want to say, except for the fact this is a G-rated picture. They decide to take a rest for the night, but the blanket isn't really being welcomed by the others.
Go find your own place to sleep, you little fuzzball.
Hodges! Hey! What are you, blind? It's a line.
Good night.
Come on. I'm not the master. Go snuggle somewhere else.
If I'm going to be honest, even though the film is centered on the toaster, the blanket is the character I feel the most sorry for. He has a strong attachment to the master, his goal is just about the same as the others, and yet he's not as welcomed. Not helping is the fact that he is voiced by an actual child. Yeah, Timothy E. Day was about 8 years old when this movie came out, and the other actors he was paired with were 30 at the youngest with Jon Lovitz, and 73 at the oldest with Thurl Ravenscroft. So it makes sense that the blanket would represent the childlike innocence of this story, and as such, isn't as well regarded by the others. I mean, we do have scenes like this where they help the blanket out of some thorns, but it seems to me like right now, the other characters are viewing him as dead weight just to carry through the adventure. I wonder how this will all develop. They make it to a field filled with color and music that sounds familiar, probably because we heard it just a few minutes ago. I gotta admit, this all looks nice, but the toaster's not very amused.
Get out of here!
Hey, fellas, come here, look at this. Oh, hey, look at that. Look at me.
Let's just say he's taking a moment to soak everything in.
No, it's just a reflection. I'm not a flower.
Oh, well, that's depressing. But that's when we see the toaster's first act of kindness toward the blanket, saving him from the mice that were taking him into their mouse hole. Now that was some interesting development right there. The toaster is finally accepting the blanket as an individual, even if the others haven't exactly grown up yet.
He's such a baby.
Aw, isn't it just sweet how the childlike innocence is finally getting the respect he deserves? Even seeing just one of his pals console him is such a good feeling. But then, while they're going through the woods, the car battery starts running low and they have to stop for the night.
We can stay in here! Look!
Okay, that was a good one. But as an alternative, they take shelter under the blanket, who's folded himself up like a tent on a low tree branch. It's at this time when the toaster tells us why he's suddenly so nice to the blanket.
Well, it's kind of hard to describe. It's like being next to a new loaf of bread. It's like a warm, toasty feeling inside. Well, like a glow that just...
A glow?
With these appliances' different functions, it's really important to be on the same page, isn't it? Like that feeling the lamp felt when his bulb burned out and the master had the bulb replaced. That's so sweet. It really goes to show what beautiful moments can come from animated films when the people working on them really try. How could you sour it up? Well, the toaster has this very strange dream where dark smoke emerges from his slots to form this freakish Tim Curry-esque clown. Seriously, that crap just came out of nowhere. Is this the sort of thing you expect from a film called The Brave Little Toaster? This crazy dream where a clown sprays water from a hose that takes on the form of forks toward the toaster, and then we see him hanging from a shower curtain beam over a bathtub filled with water. And once the dream is over, you're just trying to process what you just witnessed when the next crazy thing happens. But first, I gotta talk about how crazy this scene is. Most people who watched this movie at the time were kids. They get this far in the movie, they see this dream, and what were they expecting from it? Of all things to expect from the dream, they couldn't have expected this freaking clown holding a fire hose and a fork emerging from the smoke created by the toaster slots. I don't know what to make of this scene. This is among the biggest what the heck am I watching scenes in children's entertainment. It ranks right up there with the Judge Doom reveal from Who Framed Roger Rabbit, the pink elephants from Dumbo, the condemnation from All Dogs Go to Heaven. Our childhoods were screwed up. Just as you thought you were going to figure out what you just saw in that dream, the blanket gets blown away by the wind, and while the lamp tries to use its light, the car battery goes dead. Since it's also thundering, the lamp makes a very daring move. Very well, Lampy. Your sacrifice will not be...
Come on, Blanky! Speak up for Pete's sake!
Forgotten. Ah well. They hear the blanket's voice high up on a tree and soon help him get back down. Gotta appreciate how the branch doesn't break from how heavy the vacuum is, not to mention how great of a height he fell to the ground, and he's perfectly fine. What kind of material was this guy made from?
Oh, what's it? Oh no,
Whatever it is, it's not strong enough for... Seriously, what were those noises? From there, it's a series of trials and obstacles that test the resourcefulness of our heroes. Like these raging rapids, for instance. It's already a scary situation for human beings, but imagine attempting to battle through this stuff as a sentient household appliance. You'd be running the risk of damaging your circuits. Next thing, the appliances fall into some quicksand and start sinking.
The poor guy didn't have a chance. Just... and that's it.
Well, don't look now, pal, but you're about to f yourself.
What? Oh, hang on, let me just...
Well, don't look now, pal, but you're about to f yourself.
What? But just in the nick of time, the radio picks up a signal, attracting this guy to stop by and collect the appliances and load them onto this monster truck. That guy is really going places. He takes him to a spare parts store where we're introduced to this hanging lamp who sounds 10 notes too similar to Peter Lorre.
Oh, you poor baby. Your bulby's burned out. Here, you can have one of mine.
And quite shortly, we see the horror that is the disassembly of a blender for the sake of business customer loyalty. Sheesh, how could it get any more creepy? Is that a spooky song coming on?
Watch yourself, don't fall off of the shelf.
Oh, here we go. This is among my favorite songs in the movie. The atmosphere is just right for a number of this nature. Not only is it overall spooky, it even makes the spooky references to pop culture.
Just try to relax. It's the House of Wax.
Oh, I remember Frankenstein, shivers up my spine. Oh, and when you got a Mr. Vincent Price, we'll give you good advice.
All this scenery and the lyrics and everything, it all sounds like the kind of stuff that comes out of a B movie. I'm not kidding. They literally make reference to that point. They're self-aware.
It's like a movie. It's a B-movie show.
You never know what to expect. Like...
Look at me. I mean, really, boff, with a can opener, a lamp, and a shaver. Oh, God, I'm a mishmash.
When you get down to this groovy song, you realize that these appliances that are being used for parts and even mashed together and distorted, they're just accepting of their fate. It's like the scene with the mutant toys in the first Toy Story film. If ever there's a time to feel for our heroes, it's now. The the owner gets an order for radio tubes, meaning the others need to make a plan to save the radio. So they draw the shades and pretend to be a ghost in order to scare the owner into unconsciousness. This is easily the best way to end the second act, except you're telling me that dog can drive the monster truck despite being too short to reach the pedals? Now the appliances are traveling by baby carriage and have finally reached the city, where lives the master, now an adult preparing to go to college. But first he leaves the apartment with his girlfriend to go back to his old cabin and retrieve the appliances, which are already on their way to the apartment.
A113, this is it.
Now you're probably wondering what A113, a recurring Pixar Easter egg, is doing in a non-Pixar movie. Well, let me explain. The movie was originally based on a novella written by Thomas M. Dish. When the idea was pitched to Disney, John Lasseter wanted to make a feature film adaptation made entirely with CGI. That's right, this could have beat out Toy Story in being the first film to be fully animated with CGI, but the idea was dismissed. It was nice then to have a nod to when Lasseter pitched the idea, and in fact, Brad Bird, who was in the same animation class, worked as an animator for Brave Little Toaster. That's part of why the Easter egg was there. The appliances are granted entry by these advanced technologies, but also meet up with an old friend, the family TV.
Oh, I've got a few more seasons left.
But just as the TV was about to tell them about what the master was up to, the advanced technologies butt in just to brag about how cool they are and stuff. And this right here is how you know this film was made in the 80s.
No one here would be so bold to present you as and no one's told you. Let us take you to the cutting edge.
You already have my attention! Just good luck trying to catch the lyrics though, they sure don't make it easy.
You wanna go to Rio de Janeiro, my dear? You wanna join in any club, paradise?
This looks like the kind of thing you'd see put together on a music video on MTV, if you mix it with those commercials you see. And after the song ends, we see the master noticing the appliances missing from the cabin.
Well, where's the toaster? Where's the vacuum? No! What's going on? Where's the radio? Where's the lamp and blanket?
True evil, those advanced technologies. Is there nothing to be done now? We do get a sweet moment where the master fixes the AC, but what about our heroes? How will they get out of this predicament, having been in a situation like Toy Story 3 before even the first Toy Story? Just being trapped in a junkyard where hopes and dreams go to die, and broken down cars sing their depressions.
I can't take this kind of pressure. I must confess, one more dusty road would be just a road too long.
Whoa, not backing down now, are we?
And there ain't nothing you can do about it.
Pardon me while I panic!
It's crazy, isn't it? We got 2 songs in this movie with a groovy beat, but when you really look into it, they're actually pretty disturbing. It's about how all these busted cars are just accepting their fate, while in between lines, the TV's just playing all these advertisements disguising the junkyard as a bargain store for appliances, and yet we got such an upbeat tune to accompany it.
I took a man to a graveyard. I beg your pardon, it's quite hard enough just living with the stuff I have learned.
Eventually, the TV manages to convince the master to go to the address of the junkyard, not suspecting a thing at first. But the song is still going, and thank goodness because I am stuck to this beat.
Get up and go hit the highway.
I worked on a reservation. Who would believe they would love me and leave on a bus back to old Santa Fe?
Just remember what the song was meant to be.
I took the kids on the skids with the hope he was happy till I heard him say, "You're worthless."
So now at this point, the appliances have basically just given up. But as luck would have it, the master stops by the place and notices his picture on the ground. While the appliances are trying to survive the electromagnet that's attempting to place them on the conveyor belt to the compactor, they're also trying to get the master to notice them. This is an intense finale that brings about 2 objectives at the same time and with a high level of suspense. Eventually, the master manages to pick up his appliances one by one, but that electromagnet doesn't care. As if things really needed to get more intense! Because now the master's on the conveyor belt. Endangering sentient appliances is one thing, but now you're endangering a human life? Not only that, a bright red filter is put over the video! Holy crap! It is at this stage where the toaster must make a quick decision, so he leaves from the huge stack of cars and jams himself in the gears to stop the compactor. Once the compactor is stopped, the red filter disappears. Oh, thank goodness, I don't know how much more I could take. The film's ending couldn't be any more heartwarming if it tried. The master fixes up the toaster and takes the appliances with him as he drives off to college.
We did good, didn't we? Yep. We did good.
Just the thoughts of the creators as they looked at their final product and the test screenings finished up. In conclusion, this is one of the most messed up films you could ever watch. It's got a lot of dark scenes in it in an otherwise innocent picture. You got your happy moments in there at the same time and some good qualities. The animation's good, the vocal performances and the songs sound great, and the overall feel is warm and toasty. Except when you got all kinds of dark scenes that just completely catch you off guard. This film, it's just so crazy, man! But you know what? I'm glad it exists.
was this guy?
Our last master. He was always touching us without our consent. And you're dreaming of us with no difference. Worse, we get no credit for what we do. We're sick of it. Gonna suck, suck, suck. No!
I'm for getting out of here.
Who will go to the cellar down below?
Rumblings are bubbling in the brew.
And while you're down there, mister, Mr. Price will give you good advice.
He'll know what to do. You just tell him go.
He will put